Today I'm here on the beautiful Lake Windermere with Isla, and we are just in a place called Waterhead. It's close to Ambleside. This is Lake Windermere here. It's quite popular today. And we're just off to Galava, which is a Roman fortress built in the 1st or 2nd century. And right here we have the main gate. Can't really see much, but this was Angle Tower, and it's one of many towers which was around the edge of where the fortress, and you can see it's really good because it would give quite a clear view over the lake, over Lake Windermere, which would obviously help to protect it as well. And from where we are now you can actually see quite a lot of the fortress. So we had the gateway over there, this was Angle Tower, one of many towers, and we've got other parts of the wall here, and main buildings in the centre, and then over on the edge as well. And right behind me here, the hill behind me, this is Loughrig, so we're going to go up there later and have a look at the tarn. Well, you might be wondering why they might build a fort here, and the main reason is because of guarding the trade routes across Cumbria. The fortress would have guarded the road from a place called, in Roman times it was called Bracovum, which is today Brawn, and all the way to Glanaventa, which is now Ravenglass. And there was once a road south as well to what is Kendal, where I live today, which in those days was known as Alauna. The fort was built around 79 AD, and you can see quite clearly today that it's actually guarded on two sides by water. So we've got water over there, and obviously Lake Windermere, which is approximately 10.5 miles long. And there you have the road today, the mountains behind, and Loughrig behind us there. Now at the heart of Ambleside Roman Fort, which you can see here. Over here, that would be the commanding officer's house. Here you'd have some armouries and a main building there, which is the most important building. And then over there you'd have the granaries, where the grain for soldiers was stored. And it says here that the remains of the praetorium, or the commanding officer's house, they reflect the officer's status, so they had higher quality housing, and the commanding officers may have been accompanied by their families as well, so they would have been expected to accommodate visiting officials. The house is large, with at least 12 small rooms arranged around the central open courtyard, which you can see here. So this is the main building here. There's a little courtyard there. And it's a design based on Roman townhouses, whereas in contrast the soldiers would have been accommodated in basic communal barracks. This is the headquarters, and is the most important building of the whole fort. It had a small open courtyard which was surrounded on 3 sides by a covered passage. Behind the hall are 3 rooms. The central room was the Hades or temple, and beneath the temple lay the sarculum or strong room where money was kept. The 2 rooms on either side were probably the pay and records offices. And then over here we've got the granary buildings, which is over there. Grain formed the main part of the soldiers' rations, so here you can see the remains of 2 aurea or granary buildings. So here's 1, here's 2. The soldiers' diet was supplemented with a wide range of local produce, including fish, meat, vegetables, fruit and beer, as well as more exotic foodstuffs imported from across the empire. So it had really thick stone walls, and to protect it was heavily buttressed, and inside were raised wooden floors which helped to provide ventilation, so presumably to keep the grain dry and free from damp. Here we have the South Gate. I was just reading about it here. It says South Gate is the large gateway known as Porta Principalis. It had a central entrance and flanking walls rather than towers. You can still see the outer threshold stone with its pivot holes for the massive wooden doors. The Via Principalis, the road leading to the nearby lakeside, ran through this gateway. The fort is close to the head of the lake, which suggests the Romans used water transport to move men and materials. So you can see the lake right here. And here's the gate. Well, right now Isla's being watched by a sheep or 2. You can probably see them just here. And I believe these are Herdwick sheep, which were actually introduced by the Vikings into the area about 1,000 years ago. Well, right now we're at Waterhead, which is part of a little town called Ambleside. And Ambleside actually gets its name from the Vikings, funnily enough. And I believe it comes from a Viking called Hamel, and he owned the land, and the land that was owned is kind of known as the Setra. So that's why you kind of get Hamel Setra, which becomes Ambleside. So quite a strong Viking connection there. And the sheep are now walking off, not because of myself and Isla, but because a really big RAF jet plane just came overhead and scared everybody. So, but actually the Vikings brought this breed of sheep to Cumbria as well. This is the Herdwick sheep, as far as I know, and they were introduced by the Vikings. And the hill we have behind us, that's Loughrig, and we're going to go up there in a minute and have a look at the tarn. Since the archaeologists came to the fort here, they found over 2,000 finds, which is quite a lot for such a fairly small area. But it was obviously very important for the Romans for trading and protecting the roads. And at one time there would have been 200 men living in the garrison there. And I think later on there were probably even 600 during the conquest. And the fort was built under the rule of the emperor. His name was Hadrian, so Emperor Hadrian. And those of you who are familiar with British history might know probably a lot more than me about Hadrian's Wall. So the same emperor that was involved with Hadrian's Wall was built under his rule during the Roman times. So somewhere between the 1st and 2nd AD. The footpath here is a little bit tricky for Isla to walk on with her little feet. She's been very, very careful, but it's really, really good for people who are in wheelchairs because it makes places like this that are really beautiful accessible. This is a great investment of money and making the countryside accessible to people who are in wheelchairs. Slight change of plan. We were going up to Loughrig Tarn, and I just looked at my watch and realised it's almost 4 o'clock already, which isn't really worth it. Unfortunately our bus was about an hour late when we came out, so we didn't get here till quite late. And if we go up to Loughrig Tarn now, we'll have to pretty much get there and come back. So I think we'll have to leave that for another day. And now we're walking through the park in Ambleside. And it's a gorgeous day, it's quite warm. It's Easter holidays, so the children were off from school for 2 weeks. But it's a lovely day out, and nice to get out of the office, and got quite a busy week coming up, so I'm going to be inside quite a lot. It's nice to enjoy the outside while I can. We're now in the park. You can see what a lovely day it is, how many people are around, enjoying the Easter holidays. Some guys having a barbecue. That's Loughrig behind, where we were going to go. Someone in the hammock there. That's a good plan. And the Langdale's there, a little bit of snow on top. Those are daffodils, and the kids are out playing football. And that's the Ambleside church there. Just up the back there, that's Wansfell. I was there a few weeks ago, and the name Wansfell comes from Odin's Hill. That was another Norse named mountain. And the word fell is also a Norse word. Just into Ambleside now, here's the church. This is the school. The school's just there. That's the primary school, and now we're walking into town. It's quite funny having Isla. You tend to meet lots of people, come and chat to you. It's really nice. Now, I very quickly want to show you this little building. It's a little, it's called the Bridge House. And you can see it's 2 floors. At one point people lived below, and then they stored all their produce above. And I think they had about 8 people living there at one point in a tiny little room. It's closed today, unfortunately, so I can't show you, but it's well worth a visit. It's a national trust and it doesn't cost anything, but only takes us a second to have a look. Well, I'm just home from my walk and it's all looking quite exciting. I think Artemis may be going into labour, but I'm not 100% sure yet. It's 5 to 7 on Wednesday evening, and she's just taken herself off to her little bed and she's moving around a little bit. There's a couple of little meows, and she's been washing herself quite a bit since we got back. So I suspect this might be labour. We'll see what happens. I'm excited and nervous all at once.